Hi and welcome. Thanks for coming on board with this one. This is the first time we've run this 21 days to eat your way to better sleep, but in our experience, we've found that eating affects everything. It affects your sleep, your mood, your health outcomes, and that's something that we can control because that's what we put into our mouth. So thanks for coming on board.
So the basis of this is based on actual science. It's called chrononutrition. Chrono coming from the word for clock, as in your daily rhythm around the clock, and nutrition that goes along with that. Now this is based on the health type information that you can get more in depth if you wish to do the next coaching block with one-on-one time with Jade, where you find out your actual health type. But what we've found in working with people with the health type information is that majority of people get great health outcomes by focusing on the evening meal, increasing their fasting time through the night, and we can do that by manipulating your food and improve your sleep. So all of the stuff around sleep is that you have better blood glucose control. That means less body fat. We have better mood regulations. That means you're more empathetic. You're a better manager. You're more capable and resilient to deal with all sorts of situations that are thrown at you. The brain cleans itself at night. So the benefits of sleep and improving sleep are absolutely endless to making you a strong, able, healthy human for the rest of your life. So taking that and the fasting, making opportunity of the fasting for how it works best for you is what we aim to discover over the next 21 days. And just think, breakfast is actually breaking the fast. So it's the first meal of the day. And a lot of people these days, it's pretty common that people are like, oh, I do fasting, and they fast breakfast. But then their breakfast is actually lunch. That's when they're breaking their fast. And it doesn't work ideally for the main chronobiology or chrononutrition types that we have walking around in Australia today. So we find in our experience that the PM fasting is better than the AM fasting. And Jade and I have some wonderful tips and tricks around how to make that work, because the Australian household, the standard Australian household, generally doesn't work that way. So we have some tools to help you out with that.
In my experience with the health type assessments, the evening fasts have a far better result to anything else, but there is method to it. You can't just not have dinner all of a sudden. We have to step you into it, hence why we're running this program. So if you came to us from the 5-day challenge, awesome, good to have you carrying on. If you came to us any other way, welcome. We're going to give you tips and tricks, we're going to give you food solutions, and we're going to get you to minimize that end meal. And that's going to let your body rest and relax at nighttime rather than filling it up with a big meal, which is what most people do.
Right before you need to rest.
So you're going to bed with a full belly, basically. It sounds like a very simple concept, but it's not always that easy. It takes planning and preparation, because what happens, and this is a typical day for people that I see all the time, is that they get up, they're running late, so they skip breakfast, they might have a coffee or grab something on the way out. Then they'll skip lunch because they'll be so busy. Come 3 o'clock, they're at the vending machine and they're trying to get as much sugar or high calorie food into them as possible because they have no energy. Then when it comes to dinner time, they're just overeating because they can't get satiated, or they don't get full, so they just carry on eating after dinner. That's when the chocolate bickies come out. That sounds like you're in the right place, because we need to break that habit there.
And you know what we call this? Rather than it being fasting, what Jade's just described is more of a starving response. Your body is responding as if it's starving. You get the hunger mongers in the second half of the day because you actually starved yourself, rather than doing an effective fast that gets all of the health benefits that fasting's meant to do for you.
And so when they're reaching for the biscuits at the end of the day, you think you're having that big sugar hit before you're meant to go to sleep. And so your body's going, oh, I've got to deal with all of the sugar, but I'm trying to rest. Then you have a restless sleep, and then it goes on and on and on. So when you're tired in the sort of 2 to 4 o'clock window, the question isn't what did you have for breakfast, really. It should be, what did you have for dinner?
So over the next 21 days, we are working towards successfully taking advantage of the benefits of fasting for you as an individual. Now, all of the recommendations that Jade and I are putting out are general advice. We've found them to work for a lot of people, but sometimes they don't work for every person. So we ask that you take the advice, test it out, and utilize the tools that we've given you to get your own personal feedback on whether that's something for you to keep in your daily schedule or not. There's also other tips and tricks around behaviours and tools that we'll be mailing out to you throughout the next 3 weeks. And again, just test them out and give yourself that feedback. How are we going to do that? Dun, 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 dun. First is the weekly planner.
So if you came on board with us for the 5-day challenge, you might have already have one of these downloaded. If you haven't, jump on the Facebook page and download it for week number 1, and that is starting today. We're not going to plan out our meals. I want you to write down everything that you're eating for the next week. So between now and next Thursday, everything that you're eating on the planner, doesn't matter what it is, only you can see it. If you want me to see it, by all means, you can take a picture and you can put it up in the Facebook group and we can discuss that in the lives. But I want you to look back and reflect and see. In my experience, when people write down what they're eating and they have a good idea of where they want to be with their health outcomes, they might discover that, geez, I'm having, 3 lines of chocolate every night after dinner. Why am I having 3 lines of chocolate every night at dinner? As we go through, you'll start to realize your own patterns. And whilst we say that the advice is general, most people, I would say 99% of people would benefit from a smaller meal at night in the right window there.
Second to recording your food down on the weekly planner, as Jade said, we have the sleep record for you to download. So this is to give you yourself feedback at the end of the day as part of your wind down routine before you're going to bed. You just assess your day. You answer the questions. What were my daytime activities? Was I sedentary? Was it stressful? Was I busy? Just one word answer. Daytime mood, was I mostly anxious, grumpy, sad, or was I productive? What was my energy rating? Did I have to have a nap, or did I have an energy slump? All these sorts of things, we record them down here. What time did I eat at night? And we start to discover with Jade's food, the time of when you eat, and the feedback on what the quality of your sleep and how well you felt and whether you did physical activity gives you feedback to how you can start to program what sort of sleep you want to have.
It also gives a really good picture of where you're at right now too, because we will do activities through the 3 weeks of the 21 days, and then you can see the progress as well. So it's a good way to gather a little bit of data on yourself.
So by using these 2 tracking methods, we're going to slowly integrate these tips and tricks and the tactics that we discuss over the coming weeks. And if you can keep recording it, then you will reveal to yourself what things worked, what things didn't, and then it will reveal to you just how you can program what sort of sleep you want to get and what sort of day you want to have tomorrow.
And I always say that we're the giver of information, and it's really up to ourselves to find how that information works best for us, because you know your body better than we do. We have a lot of information to give. You've got to work through yourself so that you can actually listen to your body, because our bodies are very, very smart. We just need to tap into them.
So how's the rest of this going to roll? First of all, step 1, right now, after you finish this video, print out 3 weeks worth of these planners. So you need to print 3 of each one. Then we are going to have a pep up talk come out tomorrow morning, every Friday. And then Monday, Tuesday, Wednesdays are live question and answers. This is what Jade mentioned before. Anything that you have questions on, realizations that you want to discuss, any questions that people have, they're all going to be answered in that live Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday. And then Thursdays will be a new tactic for you to implement, which will be the start of your fresh new sheet. And then we can track these changes that you're bringing in and to see what impacts they have.
So with the lives, if you've got any questions, bring them, or you can put them on the Facebook group, and then I'll deal with them in the lives as well. So you've got access to both of our brains, really, if you pose your questions there.
Pose them early, because one of us will be monitoring that, or both of us, depending on the day. So if you really want your question answered well, post it early, ask us, or via email. So we look forward to spending the next 21 days with you of self-discovery along the journey to figuring out exactly what you need to do to program the type of sleep you want to have, and therefore what sort of day you want to have tomorrow.
And we're doing that through improving your food.
Yay!